Hey guys, Mike here from Chagrin River Outfitters. Today we're tying a little bit of a cross between like a sparkle minnow and a woolly bugger. Really effective fly. Been using it a lot the last couple of years. Steelhead, bass, just great materials. It's really versatile and something that you can use in a lot of different conditions. So definitely effective in multiple color patterns too. And just be sure to give those a try. Definitely have a couple in your box. All right, we got a nice nymph hook here, size 6, with a bead on it. So we're gonna start with that. Size 6, you can go up to like 4 or even down to 8 or 10 with this fly. We're gonna start, put down a nice base, thread base of this Vivus 140 again. You know, red. I like orange a lot too, something that'll contrast, put a little pop of color in at the head. But pretty much this is going to be a really similar to a woolly bugger. So we're going to start with some marabou here. We're going to prep these marabous real quick and look for some nice feathers. So the first thing I do is when I grab a nice marabou feather is I'll take that marabou and just pull it all the way to the tip there. And then I'll just strip all this excess out. So once you get that marabou to a point where you can work with it, just wet it a little bit, set it aside. We're going to do 2. So take that second one, same thing, just strip it down, just like that, and get it nice and workable. All right. Sometimes when the tip is real big like that, I'll pull that out. So now, we're going to want this tail to be pretty long here. It's going to be covered up really well. So I usually go about 2 times the length of the shank. So just measure it out. You want these flies to be really consistent. So you don't want to tie, say 10 of them and they're all different lengths and all over the place. So I just try to measure it up and get it pretty close to the same. Get a little bit of consistency. And so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do a couple of nice loose wraps. And then I'm going to wrap this marabou all the way up the shank. And basically what you're trying to do is build a little bit of body, a nice platform to tie that brush on next. Trim it. We're going to throw in a little bit of this MFC flash, nice texture, adds a lot of body flash profile to it. I always like a lot of flash in my flies, so I usually grab like 6 or 8 strands, tie it in, kind of just throw it close to the end here, fold it back, so whatever you use is going to end up being doubled again. I'll typically just come in and trim that on an angle right there. A little bit longer, just a little bit longer than that marabou. And then come in with that second feather and just really try to line it up so it's all nice and uniform there. Get that nice and seated on there. We're at that tie-in point, and then come and advance this thread all the way to the tip there. And then we'll just trim it out. The red thread is going to be really nice on these white ones because it's going to show through just a little bit through this this sparkle minnow brush. Been using a lot of these the last couple of years for been using that material a lot for like bass flies, but for steelhead it's been really great. In the sunshine, a lot of those bright sunny days, or even in like really dirty water, that the shine of these brushes and that sparkle minnow material just really does a great job of getting their attention and showing them something that looks really realistic to them. All right, so we just tied in this this next material here, and it's on a wire, so just make sure when you're wrapping it, you wrap over the tip of that wire so it doesn't break your thread. I usually try to wrap real gently over the tip of that wire just to cover it up. Otherwise it's super sharp and it'll just slice right through that thread. Then I'll just kind of wrap everything up real nicely. So like I said, we get that nice red base underneath here. And now when you wrap this, you're just going to try to wet your fingers a little bit and palmer this material back as you're wrapping. And these are going to be pretty loose wraps. I usually shoot for like 6, 7, maybe 8 wraps throughout this fly here. All right. So keep those wraps nice and wide open, and then when we get to the tip, I'll do a couple extra, to fill in that collar there. Do like 3 or 4 right behind the eye there. All right, and to lock this material in, basically I'm going to go around that wire there on the outside and around it again. All right, then I'll do a couple extra wraps. We are going for a little bit of a hot spot there, so that's okay if that thread's showing through like that. Whip finish it, and then after that whip finish, I'll come in and trim that, because that's so sharp. If you do it before you cut it, you'll a lot of times end up cutting your thread. All right, stroke that out, and that is a complete fly. Super easy. Because it's so easy, I just want to go into one more color pattern that we can tie real quick. All right, same hook, same bead. Everything's going to be the same. We're just going to do a different color that I personally like a lot. A little more natural. All right, so same thing. We're going to start with a nice olive marabou here instead of white. Just come in and prep it up real nice. 2 times the length of that shank right there. Olive is just a great all-around color. It works really well for me in dirty water too. But typically when you think of olive, you're thinking, going more natural when there is, a little bit lower water, clearer water, bright sun conditions. So, it's something that you can use pretty much any time. Fish see olive really well somehow. It never really made a whole lot of sense to me, but I've caught a lot of fish in dirty water with olive. And now for this flash, we're going to do the same stuff. It's that MFC fish flash, it's called. And I want to throw in a little bit of copper and gold in this one. Nice little bit of, two-tone flash, get a little extra attention. And obviously this whole body of this fly is going to be very flashy, so not sure this is a really make or break sort of component to this fly, but it ends up making a really nice finished profile. All right, so we got the olive there. And then I got a little yellow olive I'm going to throw in over top of that. Just to get a couple different colors going. Just a big fan of putting multiple colors into flies and not just like a solid color. Obviously white is a great solid color, but sometimes with these olive ones, a little bit of contrast never hurts at all. That little twist right there on the marabou really helps to cut it closer to the base there. All right, come in and clean it up a little bit. And then I have this, same material again. It's this sparkle minnow brush, but this is a nice sand colored, it's called. It's kind of like coppery gold. Again, great dirty water color, but, on dark days, it's actually pretty muted. So it's not a bad idea to try this on bright sunny days where it's really going to pop and stand out, but also, dark days, it actually does a really good job of kind of muting that flash a lot and looking really natural, I think, to those fish. So, definitely something to consider on either, dark or bright days. All right, just pinch wrap that. Go in the front and the back. A couple extra wraps for that pop of color. and then a nice whip finish, and boom, we have 2 flies completed in a very short amount of time, and both are extremely effective. For me, for the steelhead around here, you know, but again, don't limit these to just steelhead flies. Great for bass, trout, you know, pretty much anything that eats other fish. That's a pretty versatile fly, looking like a lot of different things, you know, sculpin, shiners, minnows, bounce along the bottom, do whatever you want with it, but, you know, definitely effective and very fishy. So a couple of really quick flies you can try and tie at home that don't take long at all and work really well.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring that bell. And as always, please visit us at chagrinriveroutfitters.com.